This is Bruce Buffer, and this is the moment you've all been waiting for. It's time for the MMA-Holes!
No way.
From the Sonosi 1K Studios of Arizona, Charles Oliveira wants legacy fight against Conor McGregor. Bkfc prospect Tyler Randall interview. Let's get to it with the MMA-Holes. Yeah, baby. How you doing, friends? Welcome to the show. It's Wednesday night. We're here hanging with the boys. Good to see everyone in the chat. Make sure you pull up a nice, comfy seat up to the screen. Here we are. We're live. We're inside the room, our Wednesday room. We got Kattar versus Emmett. Fight week. It's going down this Saturday. We're reacting to the entire card Saturday night. Hit the notification bell, subscribe to the channel, and also hit the like button on this video right now. I want to give a shout out to our sponsors, Head Rush, MyBookie.ag, and Sheath Underwear. Promo code MMA-HOLES for 100% match your first deposit on MyBookie. And if you want 20% off Sheath and Head Rush, well, you get 20% off using MMA-HOLES. Thank you to our sponsors. All right, friends, here we go. We're about to party tonight. We're going to talk about some UFC stuff, but we're going to start off with Bkfc. Now, I just want to say something here. As Bkfc dropped some big news tonight. You ready? Are you ready? You guys ready in the chat for the news? You got to let me know if you're ready. All right. Well, until I find out. Kendall, you're ready? Kudos, you ready? You ready in that chat? Let's go. Tell me, Kendall, do you want to know the news? No, you're not ready, drunk? Taylor Starling is going to win. No, that's not the news, but maybe she might win. You got the news? Born ready. You were born ready, Ryan? Okay. Benjamin, you ready? You got to get more excited than that in the chat. All right, let's go over here real quick before we get into the interview. Breaking news, Bkfc, check it out. There he is. Greg Hardy signed with Bare Knuckle Boxing. Whoa, look at that. Bare Knuckle has Greg Hardy now on board. I'm sure people are going to have a lot to talk about with this, but let's talk about someone over here that's an undefeated bare knuckle fighter. A gentleman that is 2-0 under the bright lights of Bkfc, the squared circle. This man over here is going to be fighting June 24th for his third appearance, looking to keep it undefeated over here. Here we go. Let's bring back to the show Tyler Rookie Randall. Let's go, peeps.
Hey.
There he is. Tyler, how's it going, my friend?
Great, man. Blessed to be here and happy to be on with you, brother.
Well, thanks for coming back on. Listen, I mean, this is a different Tyler right now. The first time we spoke to you, you were kind of green in the game, and here you are now, 2 wins in Bkfc, 2 fantastic fights, and then coming off a finish. How you feeling about this nice 2 fights in bare knuckle?
Oh, man. Honestly, what I'm realizing just from doing the fights themselves, the level of experience you get, like in small details and like extra skills you pick up from like not wearing the gloves and just being active in the moment doing it, because you can only spar so much without actual gloves. You know what I mean? You can't really spar the way you're gonna fight. But like from those fights, the small bits of details I've picked up and things I've learned, I'm really excited for my next one.
Yeah, and we're excited too, man. This is good stuff. We've made some friends with Bkfc, And it's so much fun watching you guys compete over there. We were talking to Taylor Starlin recently, and now she's fighting for a belt. I mean, it's just really cool to see you guys rise up the rankings. And I was watching with my wife earlier, just highlights of your first fight in Bkfc, and I'm looking at this. I'm like, this is the beginning. Like, this is the beginning. Like, this is like watching the UFC when it just got started. You know what I'm saying? But the way Bare Knuckle has catapulted in the limited time in front of our eyeballs is pretty wild, how fast it's grown and the production value. How does it feel to be part of an organization that's blossoming so quick?
Honestly, it's a major blessing, and it's a big shock. Everything's been happening really quick. Like, I did the tryouts, and I started researching Bkfc a bit more and doing more knowledge on it, figuring out more, watching more events, learning more. But I realized how organized it was and how well the production team was and how well they're doing. And now with the new contracts they're signing, I mean, they're just getting more money for their marketing and everything they need. It's just going to get better and better. It's going to grow. It really makes me think of the UFC in the early days, except honestly, they were given more tools.
Mm-hmm. And what's interesting about this too, I think it's kind of brilliant. So the UFC is kind of growing the brand of some of these guys like Greg Hardy and these other fighters like, Paige Van Sant and these other fighters. And then when they're done over there, Bare Knuckle's like, okay, they're popular already. Come on over here. So basically, Bare Knuckle doesn't have to do much work. They're bringing in, all they got to do is sign these people, and they already have the social media following. They already have the fan base. So it's like now they're building their farm system with guys like you. They got these stars that they're bringing in to bring in those casual fans as well. It's a perfect recipe.
Yeah, I mean, they have Mike Perry fighting MVP in London, and then they have Jimmy Rivera fighting Howard Davis on the same card that I'm on.
So would a guy like you have a little chip on his shoulder? Because, I mean, you're fighting on these cards with these megastars coming from other organizations, and here you are. I mean, you're like a pureblood. Like, you go into BKFC, you basically started with Bare Knuckle over here, and does it say, hey, I got to prove something here, and I got to be even bigger than these superstars?
So, in the way I look at it is, it's they don't really realize it. A lot of people aren't going to realize it, that they're stepping into a whole different field. It's not what they're ready for. So I'll get the day when I'll get one of those superstars they want to put in front of me, and I'll show them what a superstar is all about. You know what I mean?
There you go. I love
you. Excited for the fight, man. You can't really sit here and come here and tell me that you're a star, you're all these amazing things. If you were, then you wouldn't be trying to sit here and run your mouth or come to my division. And then if we're meeting up, then there's this reason that, you know what I mean, you can't be a superstar. There's only going to be one superstar.
It's kind of cool because you guys have the experience, like you said, and a guy like Greg Hardy just walks into the door and says, hey, Tyler, can you give me some advice? This is a former NFL player, former UFC fighter, and now he's probably going to be asking someone like you for advice.
Well, what I'm coming to learn, so my first fight, I asked a lot of different people for different tips and advice and things. We had a few fights, and certain people had some great advice, and other things that I didn't fully agree with. And then as I'm coming to learn, you know what I mean, I'm I really have to trust my instinct and my gut and things that I like. And certain things I'm realizing that I'm picking up, but a lot of it really is off your own feel and your own experience. Because many people are telling me don't worry about the cuts. The cuts feel like small little slices or little pricks, like little pin needles. And I don't mind that feeling, but why would I sit here and try to embrace a cut if I can just move or block a different way or parry a different way? There's a lot of different defenses that people aren't talking about. They're just oh, when you get cut, it's yeah, you're gonna get cut, but try to avoid it. Don't accept it.
Yeah, it's true. Everyone's it's inevitable. It's gonna happen. But if, like you said, if you could avoid them, that seems like pretty good advice. So what would be the #1 piece of advice you would give a brand new, fresh face into Bare Knuckle? What would you say to him? Would it be the cut thing?
Don't open your hands. So people they keep opening their hands and blocking certain ways, and you can do it. But if someone catches you opening your hands, if I catch you opening your hands and you're blocking a certain way, I'm just gonna start socking those hands down, bomb, trying to break your fingers, break the back of your hand, hit you in the wrist. You're not gonna be able to open it or close it. I'm allowed to punch you wherever, the shoulders, the back of the rib, and if I don't even think I'm gonna hit you in the side of the head, but I swing as hard as I can, and hit you in the arm, you're gonna feel it, and you're gonna be thankful that I didn't hit you in the head.
That's actually pretty interesting. Yeah, because your hands, you got all these small little bones in there, and if they're wide open, there's nothing really to protect them, and you're getting hit, that's it, it's done. That's actually really good advice over there. I never would have thought of that.
Yeah, man, the kids are my last 2 fights, the kids kept trying to open their hands, and as soon as you did, I'm going to take full advantage of it.
Speaking of taking advantage of it, your last fight over here, you get a knockout. And how does that feel? With no gloves on, the whole deal, experiencing someone dropping from your hands?
I don't know, man. It wasn't as amazing as I thought it was going to be. Like, I expected this like different feeling and this different energy, but in reality, I was just like, in my head, I was like, I'm not done. Like, let's finish this. Like, get up again. Like, it was weird. Like, I wanted the fight to continue. I feel like it wasn't like the knockout I was looking for, because I didn't expect him to fall so epically or so bad, honestly, from that shot. Like, it was on point. Like, it hit him right under the chin when I came forward, but I didn't really expect it. I hit him with a 2. He stepped forward, and I came up under his armpit with that uppercut, and I knew it hurt him, but I didn't expect it to lay him out like that.
So what would you say, your first or your second fight, which one was more satisfying then?
My first fight.
No kidding. So your first fight going in there, and when I was watching that one back, how when you walked out and you did the little circle around, just absorbing the whole atmosphere, that must have been something else, huh? Like the lights, the people in the crowd, that little walk off to the cage. I mean, it looked like you were just partying out there.
Right. So, like, a huge thing for me is, like, I've envisioned this my whole life. I've thought about fighting in front of crowds, filling up arenas and stadiums, and, like, being, like, the gladiator, the top fighter, like the one that they're cheering for, the one that people want to see. I've always envisioned that and hoped for that. So now being able to walk out there and, like, see the lights, see the crowd, see my name up in the lights on the Megatron, hear the loud voices, like, it sends, like, unrelatable chills through my body. It makes my eyes water sometimes, like, an excitement. Like, the air I'm breathing is, like, unlike anything, you know. Like, I feel extremely blessed on that whole walkout. Like, there's nothing like it. Like, I spend countless days just thinking of the walkout, just imagining the walkout, because I just love the whole process. Some people are just born for this, and you seem like one of them. Like, this is exactly what you put on this earth to do. I agree. Like, I found it at a really young age, and, like, ever since I found MMA and fighting, I just always loved it. And, like, this whole bare knuckle thing, like, as soon as you toe the line, like, 'cause that's different too. Okay, you know, they say toe the line, so you have to run up, put your foot on the line, and then knuckle up. The concept of doing that is way different than standing across from the cage with each other and saying, "All right, fighter, you ready? You ready? Fight." It's way different when you're standing in arm's length with someone else and they say go. It's funny, man. Like, so you go in, and we spoke about this before. You fought Triton fights, that whole situation that happened over there. We're familiar with those guys now. Flex fights, a heel hook, that thing goes down. You don't have to worry about any nonsense like that. It's just like, you're in there, let's just fight. Like, there's no tangling on the mat or any of that rolling around. It's just beat the shit out of each other. Best man wins. So there's got to be something more, I don't know, to the fact that you just have to train for one skill set rather than all these other variables. Because I'm noticing guys like Cowboy Cerrone and Misha Tate talking about how, you know, they take some time off, they come back in the cage, and these young, hungry animals are so well balanced at every sort of skill set, whereas back in the day, you fought a grappler versus a striker. You know, now it's so balanced. Here, you don't have to worry about that. You could just worry on one craft. 100%. So what I am seeing, though, is, like, bare knuckle is so new, where everyone's got this, like, the high level dudes or the people that are doing better are developing their own style, and they're developing their own style, and they're coming from a certain art, whether it be boxing, taekwondo, Muay Thai, or even wrestling. So, like, you're seeing these different styles of art come into the bare knuckle world, actually, which is pretty cool. Whether they're clinching, whether they have just a strong, powerful jab and, like, long forward, like, range, or even if they're doing the weird low stance karate punches, cha-cha, like, trying to leave. And then, of course, we're going to see the traditional boxers. So, like, I'm noticing in bare knuckle, everyone's trying to figure out, like, what style is going to stand out, and who's doing the best, and what's the best concept. Do you notice that, like, when Paulie Malignaggi fought Artem Lobov back in the day, everyone was saying the reason why Artem had success is because he came from the MMA background and he was fighting with smaller gloves. Like, whereas Paulie Malignaggi was coming from that boxing background, you had that big padding to protect yourself more. It was just a whole different dynamic. Do you feel people coming in from the MMA world have more of an advantage over actual traditional boxers? So that's a tough call. So I think the footwork should correlate pretty well. And also, we're not in a square, we're in the circle. So that's a huge difference for the boxers now. Establishing center and establishing the angles are a lot different now. More understandable for MMA footwork. The long shots, the range shots, and the different blocks. Yeah, you block different. So boxing, you have pillows, shields, you know, your shoulder rolls. You do that in MMA, you get kicked in the head. So there's certain things that, of course, are transitioning. But as for, like, certain things as punches, just punches being thrown in general, you would expect a boxer to have more crisp punches. Regardless, MMA or boxing, whoever it is, they need to make sure that their hands are closed. Because if you do like the light thing where some boxers leave their hand a little bit open and just try to touch you quick, boom, boom. And people try to get away with MMA too. But if you do that 1 or 2 times, your hand's going to break.
Yeah, it's very interesting. By the way, if you're just jumping in, we're live with Tyler Rookie Randall. He's fighting on June 24th at Bare Knuckle FC. Cary Caprio is your opponent, and they're doing your opponent dirty. I'm just going to be honest with you right here. This guy's got no bare knuckle experience. He's coming in off of a loss in MMA. I mean, are they trying to murder this guy? Like, what's going on here? Am I seeing the wrong stats?
So Cary Caprio was he was at the tryouts when I went to the tryouts.
Okay.
So from my research, he's lived over in Thailand for a few years. He's undefeated in Muay Thai. Wrestled into the collegiate level for a little while also.
Gotcha.
Wrestled through high school. And that MMA fight, I think, was 10 or 11 years ago.
Okay, yeah. I was looking at his Tapology here. I was like, wait, there's really not much to pull for. You're right. Yeah, 2011.
So he went and lived in Thailand for a little while and went undefeated in Muay Thai. 3 KOs.
So so he does have 3 KOs in Thailand. Okay, so yeah, Muay Thai is pretty fucking violent. So he kind of has some idea what's going on here. But at the same time, I mean, you do have 2 bare knuckle fights under your belt. You're undefeated, unblemished. And this guy over here coming in, I mean, he's coming in hostile territory against you. I mean, I wouldn't want to be him right now. So what would you think? How do you think this fight's going to go down? Is this going to go the distance, or we're seeing a finish?
So I'm looking for it to go the distance. I would like to go all 5 rounds again. I would like to be able to work certain techniques and develop and practice certain things and keep myself as safe as possible, but I would like to go all 5 rounds. If the finish happens, it happens. If I were to predict a finish, I would predict it to be at the end of the first or in the second round. Okay. But besides that, I would guess it to go all 5 rounds of blood. Now, are you still...
sorry, go ahead.
No, I'm guessing if it goes all 5 rounds, there'll be a lot of blood.
Well, listen, I mean, this sport is... There's no shortage of blood during this sport. At first, when I first watched it, it was it was the Artem days when we started getting into it, and I was like, what the fuck? Like, I couldn't even believe my eyes, but I enjoyed it. It was like I couldn't take my eyes off of it. Well, now that I've watched it a little more,
the first time.
Oh yeah, like what did you think the first time you saw it?
The first time I watched it, so it was I think it was Dat Win and Johnny Bedford. So like, or I'm pretty sure that's who the fight was, but I know it was Johnny Bedford fighting. Okay. And I was watching the way he was moving and throwing his hands and stuff, and I was like, huh, I could do that. I could fucking do that, no problem. Because the style he has is very, like, if he presses his weight forward on you, and if he can't put all his weight on you, then he's going to find a way to club your head down and then start working uppercuts or keep clubbing over top. But he buries his head down and goes forward, and like when he rolls dramatically, it's not really like he's not really looking at his opponent. He's kind of like looking with his head down. Which kind of works, but you have to be careful not to hit in the back of the head. But he does a lot of that, like dramatic rolls, and I'm like, it's hard to hit someone when they're doing that. But, you know, and then he throws overhands while he's doing it. Boom, boom. So I was like, I could do that all day.
Yeah, he's a nut, man. I remember when he fought Felony Charles Bennett, a friend of ours. Felony had the broken hands and everything, but Felony clipped him. I was shocked. Actually, Felony got a shot. And maybe it's because of that style. Would that be a reckless style, you would say?
Well, so we're in I'd hate to describe it like this, but we're in a pretty reckless sport. Bare knuckles a little more reckless than the other sports because it's 2-minute rounds, and there's no glove. So it's easy to get a cut, easy to break your hand, I've come to learn. But yeah, if you're not looking, you start taking your eyes off, it only takes one punch. You can only, you know, it happens when you lean one way, especially if you're leaning with your hands down. You got to have something sort of blocking you or be aware of what's coming. And Bedford, a lot of times, like, he sacrifices his head movement and his like blocking positioning to throw more punches.
Gotcha. Yeah, he's pretty fun to watch, though. He is.
Oh yeah, he's super entertaining. He's coming forward.
I tell you, what do you think about this? Like, I was speaking about this with Taylor Starling, and I was, you know, like with MMA, a lot of times guys, I mean, although this past weekend, I don't know if you watched the UFC event, UFC 275. Do you follow the UFC at all anymore or no?
Oh yeah, 100%.
So I mean, the women, they stood up. I mean, Jesus, Joanna Jędrzejczyk and Valentina's fight, which was a close fight over there. Those are great fights.
What was I think it was like a 115-pound girl fight. The girl with blonde hair got knocked out with a right straight.
Oh shit! Yeah. Earlier on the card you're talking about, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Earlier on the card.
I don't know. Someone in the chat dropped her name. I can't remember her name, but I know exactly what you're talking about.
Goodness, that poor girl.
You know, it's funny. People shit on women's MMA, but I think it's still too early in the game now, right? It just feels like it. But when you look at bare knuckle, there's no. It doesn't matter how early. The women's MMA fights are wild. Like these girls, they show up and swing like lunatics.
Oh yeah, 100%. So I've always been a huge fan of like female martial arts and female like competition and fighting because, are you kidding me? Some of the, like their hips just as flexible, the head kicks, the movement, very technical. Like Thug Namajunas, like. Rose Thug, like she's one of the most technical fighters I've ever seen.
Yeah, she's been getting a little hell. Do you think she's groomed by Pat Barry? Be honest with me. Do you think that Pat Barry has farmed her? You know, we got to ask the question. I mean, you could plead the fifth if you want.
Plead the fifth?
All right. Yeah, that's been going around a lot. Are you still training with Nico Price? Is he in your corner?
I think he'll be in my corner for this one. We've been getting a little bit of work. I went over to his house a couple times, but he's getting a lot of work over at another gym right now. And I'm working with Fight Zone MMA.
Okay.
So it's out of the 239 Fort Myers. So I'm working with Michael D'Angelo and Augustus D'Angelo every day.
So do you find yourself bouncing around still a lot? I remember the last time we had you on, you said you were bouncing around from gym to gym.
Yeah. Fight Zone's like my main gym, my prime gym right now. I'm going to find myself going to stay there for a while. But yeah, I'm gonna constantly bouncing around. It's just kind of how I find myself developing and getting to work on new things and learn and practice certain skills.
We had Randy Brown on the show, who Nico did the famous hammer fist from the bottom and takes out Randy Brown. And when we have Randy, on, you know, of course, why would I not bring that up, right? You know, just dig up, just open up old wounds. But he said that's one fight he would love to get back, and he kind of gave me the look. He was like, basically saying that Nico got lucky in that fight. He says 10 out of 10 times he would beat him. Like, so what would you say about something like that?
I mean, they're gonna have to run it back then 10 out of times. It didn't look like it to me.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's hard to say, you know, when he gets knocked out like that.
You know what's really hard is, so in MMA especially, let's say you get knocked out, it's hard to be like, oh, I didn't clearly win that fight, I knocked you out. Because people are like, oh, look at the stats, look at the decision. Yeah, if you watch the fight, yeah, he got knocked out in a weird way. But, okay, that was with his left hand from his back. So if that's going to show how durable your chin is from that, that was his weak hand from his back. Mm-hmm. So imagine how he's standing and pressing forward. Maybe your chin couldn't actually hand up to those shots. Of course, you're going to have to run it back to find out. But that just shows me that you don't have the button to fight that guy.
Yeah, I tell you what, I would love to see them run that back, to be honest. Let me know in the chat if you'd like to see that fight again. So what do you got going on right now? Where are you living now?
Right now I'm staying with my buddy Tim Khalil Ali. He's a MMA fighter getting ready to go pro soon at 155.
Is he cooking dinner in the background or doing dishes? What's going on there?
He's cooking. We just finished sparring.
So you're getting ready for this fight coming up. Is he like helping you out with meal preps and stuff?
Yeah, he helps me out with all my meal preps and like remembering like certain things for like me to like get to the doctors and things like that for my blood work and shit. I'm awful when it comes to remembering all that stuff.
And now leading up into this fight, it's right around the corner over here. I mean, everyone always asks the same question, but I'll ask you too. Why not? The weight cut, everything. You feeling good?
Oh, I feel pretty good. Let's see, what do I weigh right now? So after training, I'm probably like 136 right now. I'm fighting at 126.
So you're ready. You're right there. It's kind of crazy. So usually you do come in around this weight at this time? Yeah.
So I'm usually here. I'll change a few more things up in my diet this week, and then my weight cut morning, I'll probably be like 132, but I'll be fully hydrated. I'll get in a hot bath for like 15-30 minutes, maybe a little longer, get out 126 pounds, and then go weigh in.
There you go. Now 2 fights, wins, looking for your 3rd win over here. What's the relationship like with David Feldman? Like, do you have a one-off, like, is it a 1-fight contract each time? Are you on a multi-fight deal? What's going on with that?
So currently I'm on a 1-fight contract each time. I'm hoping after this fight we can. I'm not huge on multi-fight deals or multi-fight contracts. I'm really not big on that.
Okay.
But I would do something for them as long as it only stipulated that bare knuckle, like I could still do MMA fights and stuff like that. But yeah, of course, I'm gonna talk to them about it. We've both good rapport. They're like me more. I had a good finish over in Kansas I did a great showing over in where was it? I think it was in Miami or Hollywood, somewhere over there. And now I'm gonna go over and do another one. So building rapport, building relation, and I'm just gonna keep dropping people.
So you're still interested in the MMA game, huh?
Of course. That's where I started. It's my main art, even if it was bare knuckle MMA. But I'm a martial artist, the fullest. So any style of fighting, I'm gonna love. But I want to do it all.
There you go. And what? So end game here. You're only 27 years of age, right? Only 27.
Yes, sir.
So still fairly young in the game here. Like, what would you say 10 years down the road? Where would you see yourself?
10 years down the road. I'd like to have a couple world titles. Might probably be on the more of the end of my fight game. If anything, probably managing fighters by then, hopefully, and working at a gym. You know, can only do this for so long. I know that.
There's a person in the chat named Naw, N-A-W, says, this guy is the man. He came to my grandmother's wake, and my grandfather was choking on spaghetti. My aunt made and saved his life. Forever indebted to this man. Glad to call him my friend. Do you know? Are you aware of this?
I don't recall.
A man who choked on spaghetti. And you saved his life. All right. I mean, that's a wild. I didn't think. Wow. So you're an actual hero as well.
You know what job I did for a little while? I was a corrections officer for a little while.
You did corrections? You said?
Yes, sir. I was a corrections officer for a little while.
Oh my God.
And I had to do some like certain things. Like I saved a couple people's lives, but like that's one job. Like even in the police force, stuff like that. Like I could never find myself ever doing it again or regularly doing or ever wanting to do. It was rough. I can't even believe I did it for the while that I did.
How long did you do it for?
Oh, like 3 months.
Oh. I had a friend that he passed, but I have a friend that was in corrections. He said it was the worst job he's ever had. He said it was just like you didn't have really much on you to protect yourself. It was just a nightmare.
Yeah, I remember they wouldn't. So I actually didn't have anything to protect myself for like my first 2 months. They were like, you have to get phased up to get some mace. I'm like, all right, whatever.
So you did that, and so like, what do you? So right now, are you like full blown Bkfc? You're a fighter full time, or do you do something on the side?
So I've been basically a full time fighter for the past 4 years.
Okay.
Like I had different injuries and took time off. For a little while, I was doing like security on the weekends, but I gave up my the normal 9 to 5 and the normal work life. Like when I dropped out of college and like I had a nice job and like I just quit that job. Like I just want to do that regular life anymore. Like I work so hard for fighting MMA and like that's all that makes me happy when I wake up. So I was like, I'm sick and tired of dealing with this other stuff and dealing with people telling me how I should think or what I should be doing or where I should be spending my time and what's important, because I know what's important. I feel what's important. So I'm not gonna let people like just keep running my life and waking up for these fucking jobs that I can't stand.
Some people are just not cut out for the 9 to 5. I know I'm one of them. I did it for 16 years. It wasn't 9 to 5. It was 12 to 12. It was 9 to 12. It was nuts. But it was crazy. So now that you're doing this, I remember the last time we had you on, you were bouncing around from gym to gym doing your thing, and it was like a relationship problem going on or something like that. You were getting a little trouble with the ladies, or if I'm not mistaken.
That was a long time ago.
Are you steering clear from the lady drama right now? Do you have a girlfriend, or what are you doing?
No, I just mind my own. Especially with like how important like these next few fights are to me. I've really just been minding my own, training as hard as I can, doubling up my schedule, just everything I can to make this my main priority. I got a lot of like, I feel personal things like winning this fight and getting possibly a bonus or getting more sponsors and just progressing will make everything in life that like I want and need like come to tuition. I got a lot of family members who need help with certain things and a lot of like different people that I'm looking out for. So priority is myself and them and my circle of people. Everything else will come after.
There are a bunch of fighters that we've had on the show that basically put all relationships aside. They don't try to get attached to anybody because this kind of profession devotes so much of your time, and it's difficult to spread out emotions to other human beings when you're doing something so intense. Is that what you find happening?
What I really struggle with is I feel like that I'm in two separate worlds, or I'm two different people. So like I have the relationship, like nice personal me, like talk about normal things, you know, go for a drive, go for this. And then I have the other side of me that's like, oh, like I need to be training, I need to be hitting the bag, or like just aggressive parts inside me that I know instilled in me. So I know that I'm gonna be cynical in life or aggressive no matter what, unless I do them. And I'm not a mad guy, I'm not an aggressive person, but fighting, like I didn't choose fighting, I didn't choose bare knuckle, I didn't choose any of that. All that chose me.
That's pretty intense right there. Damn, man. That's intense. That's hardcore, man. That sounds like the beginning of a superhero right here. I feel like you're gonna start flying around the room right now.
Think about
it. So, do you find yourself hard on yourself? Like if certain things happen, whether it's in the gym or in competition, do you beat yourself up?
So that was actually like my biggest downfall in my training and growing up in my fights prior in wrestling was I used to beat myself up so bad for a loss, even losing in practice or not doing good or not even finishing a sprint or something like that. I beat myself up and I wouldn't be able to sleep that night even. As the years have transition, as I'm getting older, I've really gotten better at that. I've gotten better, just whatever, like on to the next. Like I'm not too worried about it. And not gonna lie, I smoke a lot of weed, so that's definitely a helpful remedy to that. Because I don't know, man, I've obsessed about fighting my whole life. Like it's kept me up. Like I'm training, like my whole as far back as I can remember, I've always wanted to fight. I've always thought about fighting. So like I struggle to shut my brain off.
There you go. Do you blaze up before a fight?
Depending. Like my last two, no, not really. Like I smoked in the morning, but I took a nap. So then, like, you know.
I feel like I got to get into. When I was in college, I used to smoke weed, and then I stopped, and I did a couple of edibles here and there. But I feel like I got to get into that stuff. I feel like my head is so raveled the wrong way. And does it help with anxiety and stuff like that? Does it keep your mood controlled?
So
like, what do you find?
That's what it comes down to. Is I feel like it's a big stabilizer. So like, let's say like you're like so frustrated, you can't even clear your thought. Like you're like running and like you trying to breathe, calm yourself down or whatever. Like you can't even, like you're just annoyed or whatever it could be. It's a good mood stabilizer just to regulate you, to put you out of that. Of course, we should have other ways to deal with things and calm ourselves down. That's priority. You know what I mean? Like self triggers to get ourselves over, like figure out how to deal with it, coping mechanisms. But of course, smoking is an option. It's a medicine. There's a reason too. There's around. You should
get high with Felony Charles Bennett. That guy is constantly smoking. Every time I see
I
that
would
guy.
love to.
Yeah, that'd be great. Who would be a dream person to smoke weed with? Would it be like Snoop Dogg or someone like that?
Oh, that's a tough one, man. Snoop Dogg, like Mike Tyson.
That'd be amazing,
Will
right?
Nelson.
There you go, Mike Tyson. That guy, he's unbelievable. He hits rock. He gets the highest of the high, then hits rock bottom, then blazes back up again with a successful business after successful business. He's got a successful podcast right now. It's amazing how that man just fucking soared up, just dove down, and then came right back up again.
Well, sometimes that's like what it takes is like putting yourself like in your like worst places you could imagine yourself or even be worse than you could even imagine to get yourself like the best places that you can't even imagine yourself at.
Are you
shit, yeah, he's a legend. He's actually going to be there's a pro MMA card and boxing card in upstate New York, in Schenectady, New York, called Cage Wars, and Mike Tyson's actually going to be there.
That's awesome, man. You gonna find your way over there?
I'm probably going to be there just to watch. I'm from the upstate New York area, so I'd like to go over there and check it out and see some of my buddies fight.
Do you go back to New York a lot?
Yeah, I visit pretty often, or I visit some friends over in Vermont.
There you go. And what parts of New York do you like to hit up?
So I checked out Brooklyn for my first time, like not that long ago with my buddy. We went and checked out a couple of things, man. I loved every part of it. It was amazing. But usually I'm in Albany and Schenectady. And then I'm from a small little town called Hoosick Falls, New York.
Okay.
Like a tiny little population, probably like 2,000, 1,500. Like my graduating class was like 90 kids.
Do you ever pass by the Barclay Center? Like when you were in Brooklyn, did you pass by the Barclay and say, hey, I'm going to fight there one day?
No, but I would love to.
Yeah, where would be a dream place for you to fight?
Honestly, like when I think of that, I think of like the MGM.
I mean, that's the Mecca. I mean, everyone says the MSG is the Mecca, but really Vegas, right? Vegas is the spot. Everyone wants to fight in Vegas, right?
Of course, like when you hear of like dreams happening, or like for fighting at least, or like things really happening, like things changing for someone, it's Vegas. You hear about the craziest betting odds? It's Vegas.
And prostitutes. Have you ever had a prostitute before?
No.
Don't knock it till you try it. It's a no, I've never done it either. But it's a little prostitution's a little weird though, isn't it? Right? Isn't that odd? Like you just had sex and now you're like, okay, here's some money. Like it feels weird, no?
Right, and then what's the situation after? Like, here's some money. Like, you go, like, or like, do they leave? Like, where do you meet this up? Where do I have to book a place? What's going on here?
Yeah, he'd be like smoking a cigarette. Hey, do you take Zelle? It's so weird, right? Such a weird thing. We used to go to Vegas, and I had a buddy that would, like, he would just, as soon as we hit the strip, he would go for the Mexicans on the street with the cards, like flipping the cards around with all the prostitutes' names and phone numbers on it. He would cut right to the chase. Not me. I can't really get into that.
I can't really.
It's not, I don't know. I feel like I would cry. I would like have sex with them, pay him, and then cry afterwards.
Leaves an extra tip.
Yeah, I would be such a pussy.
Immoral.
So who do you think's gonna win this fight with Mike Perry and what's his name, MVP?
So I like Mike Perry's energy for bare knuckle and for fighting. Like he's always like, I hear him talk to people in the locker room, and he's always like, "Yeah, man, be yourself, be happy. This is fight. Do you enjoy it? You know, enjoy the process." Which I'm all about that. But MVP, I'm pretty sure has some sort of karate background, and most karate or like that type of martial art has a lot of like bare knuckle training and like interesting strikes and unorthodox punches. You add that into bare knuckle, like one of the key parts of being bare knuckle too is tricky and sneaky. Mm-hmm. Now you got tricky, sneaky, unorthodox punches, and his range and his bouncing is going to be good. I don't know if Mike Perry's going to be really ready for that.
It's crazy. Like when they made that fight, I'm like, why they got to do that to Mike? Like that's all I thought. I mean, he's going to get paid, but I'm like, why? Did you ever see my MVP had a boxing match that they slipped in between one of his Bellator fights, and he just smoked that fool through the ropes? I'm like,
yeah.
I'm like, oh man, this is
Dude,
not good.
I was like, where did they find that guy for him to fight? And that guy probably had no idea who he was fighting. Like half these fights I watch sometimes, I'm like, does this kid know he's about to get his ass beat? Like,
I guess not. Who knows, man? I guess there's a, I don't know. Some people will just do anything for some sort of attention. It's wild, man. I don't know.
Yeah, dude, I watched like the card that I fought on. There was this one bare knuckle kid that fought, and he was not ready to fight his opponent at all. And like everyone knew it. And it was just like the most awkward tension in like the locker room when the kid came back in, like lost in like 30 seconds. Everyone was just like kind of like, told you, man. That's brain. Like, I know, like he was like super depressed. Like I felt bad for him, but I also kind of didn't. I was like, that's what you get.
So people were telling him, "Hey, man, you shouldn't be here." Like pretty much warning him.
Yeah.
Wow.
Like, hey, man, like I can tell that you didn't train, and he had to like drink like water to even make weight. Like he was too light for the weight class. Like you really, it's like, what are you trying to sign yourself up for, man?
I can't remember the girl's name. I saw this one girl fight, and she looked like she came out of a cafeteria serving lunch. Like I was like, is this really happening? Like she just waltzes in there and just gets her ass whooped. And it's like, where's life going?
Was it an MMA fight? Like she was wearing like normal clothes?
Yeah, you saw that fight?
I know.
What was that? Who sanctions that?
She literally hops and she has her hands down. She looks at the girl and the girl's just like, bomb, bomb.
Looks like she should be making sloppy joes or something. Like what's going on?
She's got a cardigan on and some jeans.
Have you ever fought anyone and you're like, what are you doing here, bro? Like, have you ever had a situation, maybe in your Army days or anything like that, like looked over and say, why are you even here?
Oh, yeah. 100%. 100%. But also, too, sometimes I get myself, like, so amped up, like, even if the person's really good and, like, I start touching them, I'll start saying that to him and stuff like that to him anyway and acting that way because I get excited. Mm-hmm. But, like, I love to tell that. I actually say that to people pretty often. I'm like, you shouldn't be here right now. I don't know who signed you up for this.
Yeah, it's wild, man. Some people, I guess, it's weird or delusional. I guess they just like, I could do that, right? And no, you can't. You got to be built to do that. Like, I don't know. Is there fear inside of you? Like, do you fear another human being? Or you're like, I could whoop anyone's ass. You have that mentality?
So it's weird. Like, so like, there's definitely fear inside me. I'd have to believe like there's some sort of fear because that like gives me like the edge to want to fight. Mm-hmm. I know obviously I can't beat everybody, but like when I'm fighting or like middle of a fight, like when I start feeling it and getting on the flow, I feel like no one can beat me.
What does that feel like when you're in that rhythm? Like your first fight when you went the distance there, and you're kind of in that zone, you're just feeling yourself. Is it like a euphoric feeling?
Correct. It is like a very good euphoria. It's like a complete like bliss. Like you're not worried about anything that's else going on. You're not even worried about the fight. You're not worried. You're just literally like your own timing. You're just literally making everything happen on your own time. That's what it feels like. Like, and obviously like nothing's your time, but it's all those moments seem so like meticulous and controlled and understood. Even like the most faint things, everything's really fast. It's not, but it's not a blur. It's just like all of it to me comes down to timing, and like that's what I feel like I'm doing. I'm finding like this perfect timing and making this rhythm in my head, and it's almost like music, I guess.
Yeah, you see like these basketball players or other sports where they hit a rhythm and they're hitting like fucking 3-pointer after 3-pointer. They're just in the zone. I guess it's similar with fighting. I guess you can get in a zone where you're just unstoppable and you're like in a flow.
Yeah, well, that's what a lot of people call it. They call it the flow state. Like you hear about people, they go into a flow state when they're driving. They get somewhere and they don't even realize that they got there. Or like a flow state, someone's playing video games. Next thing you know, they go like 32 kills and like their reactions are just crazy fast because you enter this almost like nothing else matters, just my reaction in the moment. And even the reaction in the moment doesn't matter. It's like you're trusting your eyes and your muscles to react just for you.
That's got to be great. Rather than sitting down behind a desk with some boss yelling in your ear, here you are, you got a corner yelling at you, but you're just beating up another person. You know, like, I mean, that's got to be so much better than just filing papers, right?
Right, of course. And don't get it twisted. Like when you're filing papers, like you get out at a certain time of your day and you're done. You know, you don't have to worry about anyone hurting you or any super sore injuries or anything like that. Like there's some benefits to filing papers, but in my real opinion though, like nothing beats this. Like I don't feel more reward from coming back from a tiring practice. Like food doesn't taste as good to me. Like, you know, life isn't as bright to me. Like days off aren't as rewarding to me if it's just from a day off a 9 to 5. You know, like this makes it so everything seems that much more rewarding. I'm grateful for that much more.
Yeah, it seems like you truly appreciate that you're doing something that you love. Like, not many people get a chance to say, hey, I'm doing what I love. You know, a lot of people are stuck at a dead-end job just because they got to keep the lights on, you know, and keep food in their family's mouth, which is commendable and respectable. But, you know, to be able to get to that level in life, especially young, and figure out, hey, I can make money doing something that I love is got to be, like, that's got to be the mecca.
Yeah, so I tell those people all the time, like the fact that I found my passion at a young age is like a stranger blessing. Like it's very rare to be able to do that. I know that already. It's very rare to accept certain things in life and like not worry about any stress. Like just let it happen. Usually you can't let that happen. Most people can't get that mindset till later on or until they go through a certain like event. But like something maybe was able to pull that out into me at a young age. And I don't know if it was my injury or like loss of close friends, but I was able to accept the concept of just like letting whatever happen. And the life, we only have so much time, so I might as well use the time for something I enjoy.
Yeah, I was talking to my neighbor about this. He was able to start a business young, and now he's pretty successful, and he's doing his own thing. But he is doing all crazy stuff now. Like he's buying motorcycles, and he's just doing reckless things because he feels that there's no other place to go. Like he's just basically it's the same thing every day, over and over and over again. Guys like you are always in the gym, rinse and repeat, trying to sharpen the tools that you have, and then at the end of the day, you go and fight. And then you rinse and repeat right back to it. Do you ever feel like it's too much of the same stuff? How do you keep it fresh?
So I've come to learn that too. Training for different sports and training in the past, I actually burned myself out a couple times and had to take small breaks. Now what I've come to learn, when you feel that burnout feeling, not only can you take a break, you're allowed to take a break, but also find other things that you like to do, whether it be meditation, reading. You know, even if you have to take a day from your gym and go visit another gym or go find a different type of workout for the next 2 days, you know what I mean? Just to regulate yourself. Your peace of mind is the most important thing, and your mental health is also one of the most important things. So, like, I just have a lot of good ways of, like, just dealing with my stress or dealing with my mind better than most, I'd say.
Damn, you have it together. When I was 27, I wasn't thinking like this. I was all over the place. I didn't know what the fuck I was doing myself. And here you are. You're in the zone. You're like Zen right now.
So honestly, shit, bro. I feel like I've been through a lot of like wild experiences, and then without those wild experiences, I wouldn't be forced to be able to say that I have to just accept everything that comes to me. Like, I have to have faith that God's going to protect me, and faith that people around me are looking out for the right things for me, and faith that my right or left hook land the way I want them to fucking land.
There you go. Now, I want to ask you about, there's a fight this weekend. I'm not sure if you're going to be watching this one, but Calvin Kattar is fighting a man that looks like a vampire. It's kind of cool. Are you following any of the fight nights, or you just watch the pay-per-views?
I am not following that fight. Who is Calvin Kattar fighting?
It's Josh Emmett. It's that crazy son of a bitch, Josh. Yeah.
Josh Emmett's about to get his ass beat.
I'm with you on that. I think Calvin's the favorite.
I hope so. I mean, Josh Emmett is going to try to stand there and throw some like bombs and stuff like that, but like, shit, no. Josh Emmett's the one who fought Shane Burgos. Am I correct?
I think it was Burgos in the last fight. I don't even fucking
remember. They had that
remember.
banger back and forth. That was Josh Emmett's best
Josh,
fight.
he is like never in a boring fight. It's wild.
I know
that guy, and
that's
he does.
What I'm saying, like, he's going to be able to stand there and take some shots, but you get chinny after time. You can only take so many shots. And Calvin Kattar's on his shit right now.
The last one was Ige, but yeah, Burgos was the one before that, and both fights were fucking wild. I mean, both savages that he fought. But yeah, Josh Emmett's on a 4-fight win streak right now. He actually lost to Jeremy Stevens, which was kind of wild since Jeremy Stevens kind of got the boot. But ever since then,
styles.
Yeah, I guess that's what it is, right? I mean, isn't it wild how like the styles make matchups? Styles make matchups is actually a real thing.
Honestly, too, like a lot of times what I've come to learn too is you can like look at someone's gym that they're training at, and you're like, oh, I know what this guy's about to do.
Mm-hmm. Interesting.
No disrespect to alpha male, but like alpha male.
That's what they do. Yeah, they just grapple and fuck Paige Van Zandt. So didn't they pass her around? Is that true or no? Is that a fake story?
What?
No, forget
I have no clue. Not my place to be.
Okay. So the thumbnail, we have a little thing over here. Charles Oliveira, who I want to ask you about this. So he gets stripped of his belt at 155 because he misses weight by like a half a pound, and now it's like kind of like up for grabs. There's all these crazy matchups. He's calling out Conor McGregor. Like, what do you think about that whole 155 situation?
That shit's crazy, man. Like, okay, so I get he doesn't get the belt, misses weight, so now he should fight again for the belt. Shouldn't he rematch the guy he missed weight against?
You think there should be a rematch over there? Well, I mean, he finished
Gaethje on a title fight. That's only fair that you rematch the guy that you missed weight against.
Interesting. That's interesting. Now, he did finish Justin Gaethje, but you're right. I mean, listen, you miss weight, you miss weight. It is. I mean, your job is to make weight, correct?
So now Justin Gaethje should get a second chance, no matter where he is.
You might be the first person I've ever heard say this. And Chad, let me know what you think about that. It's interesting because, I mean, the rules are the rules. I've said this before, and people are like, it's a half pound, but still, the rule is to make championship weight. So is that a complete slap in the face of someone like you? For instance, if your opponent misses weight, like, what do you think?
If he misses weight, like, I'm like, okay, well, you didn't do your job. First part is weighing in, so you're unprofessional. So win or lose, you didn't win. You didn't do anything proper because you couldn't even get to the scale. That's half of what we do.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay. So, you can't get to the scale, so I at least deserve 20% of your purse, in my opinion. At bare minimum, 20% of your purse. And if you beat me, I want 20% of that bonus, too.
That's fair. I mean, that is fair. I can't disagree with that.
And we're at 100% reason to rematch, no matter how you beat me, because you came in unprofessional and missed weight.
There you go. And I noticed that you said in a previous interview about open scoring that you are a fan of open scoring here. And was your last fight, they did have open scoring for that fight?
Yeah, they had open scoring for that one. So I went over to the corner, and the guy came over and like showed my coach the phone, and he was like, "Oh, you just won that round, like a 28 or no, like 8-10 or 7-10 or whatever the thing was." And I was like, "Oh, word? Cool." I was like, "Tell me about the next one." So then the end of the next one, I was like, they were like, "You won that round." I was like, "I won that round? Fair? Okay." And then they were like, "Yeah, you're killing him right now." And then they were calling for the uppercut at the end of the round. Like, a lot of that was my corners calling certain things. Like, my corners predicted everything where that kid was going.
Interesting. So,
that fight camp, I didn't have to think at all. They literally just gave me certain combinations. I just kept throwing those certain combinations, and they all landed.
And then you smoked the fool. I mean, that was crazy, man. You get a finish over there, bare knuckle style. I couldn't even imagine.
The crowd was huge, man. That shit was packed out.
And so when we had a fighter named John Doomsday Howard on, he said when he knocks out a human being in front of a large audience over there under the lights, he says it feels like he's ejaculating into the hottest woman in the world. Do you feel that too?
No, sadly not. But you know what? Boom, that feeling, it's complete euphoria. It's like you're it's like everyone else in the room isn't even there, no matter how loud they get or no matter what happens. Like, yeah, you hear it, but they're not even there. Like, that's all your room. All that light is for you. Like, all that sound is just because you just did that.
So it is like the movies. It's like basically when you go to the movies and everything's like, you hear that, like, and you're just looking around, the lights are all super bright. Like, what's the first thing you notice after a knockout?
So it's weird. So when I was younger and I would get knockouts, like I would drop someone good, I would always look over at my corner. My first thing would be like, did you see that? Like, or like, I was always like, one thing I would do, I would look over my corner. Now in between rounds, I notice myself like looking at random people. But after this knockout, like the first thing I wanted to do was I was like, I was talking to, what is his name? Chris Lytle before my fight about like certain defenses. And I was like, damn, I didn't even use the defense I was talking about. But I used the knockout I was talking about. So like, I got onto the ropes and I was telling him, I was like, yeah, I should use my defense better, but I got him.
What did Chris say?
Nothing.
He's just like, yeah, whatever, kid. He's a nice guy, though. Chris Lytle's a good dude. And
yeah, he's a nice guy.
A good voice of bare knuckle, too. He's like a staple over there, right?
Oh, yeah, he is a staple of fighting in general.
Yeah.
And then him and Sean Wheelock do great together. So.
They do. Yeah, very good chemistry. You know, it's funny. You're the first fighter we've had on the show that is actually interested in open scoring, like cool with it. Most fighters are like, nah, like they're not into it. It's bizarre. Like anytime I ask someone about it, they're just like, yeah, whatever. You know, judges just got to get better. So you're like the first one I've talked to that actually says they're interested in it.
Well, okay, like if judges have to get better and they're not getting better, then let's make them honest.
Mm-hmm.
And also, what other sport do you not get to see the score?
I agree. Yeah, I'm with you.
30 seconds left of a football game, we see the score. 30 seconds left of a basketball game, we see the score. Tennis, soccer, like, I can keep going. Golf, fuck.
We have problems here. We do fight reactions, and people are asking us, who do you think won that round? I looked at them like, it depends on the judge. Like, I have no fucking idea. Like, you're asking me, I know as much as you. And if the fighters don't know, how the fuck is Joe Schmo on the couch going to know? So you're right. Like, they should have the score out there. I wasn't the biggest fan of it until, like, scores got so crazy where we don't understand it. Now I'm like, yeah.
Or even if, like, let's say they had to report a score and, like, it wasn't released on TV or whatever, but the corners got to know. Like, the corners now know. Okay, so now these people at TV and the crowd, they don't know, so they have their anticipation that they want, but the corners get to know, so they know. And, of course, they might every once in a while hear them over say it, but they don't know. Like, the guy can 1,000 times be like, you won that round, just telling his fighter that.
Do you feel that guys would, and this is the other side of the argument, do you feel like fighters would say, hey, I'm up, I'm just going to run around this final round and just call it a day?
Yeah, of course.
So there you go. So that might be a problem then, right? I mean,
so that's where you hire a ref to go stalling.
Okay.
1 point. You stall again, you know what I mean? You're going to either end the fight or something like that, like, or try to hit him for 2 points, 3 points, whatever it might be. Just 3 points, 4 points on a scorecard at the end of a round is pretty significant.
There you go. It makes sense.
You might still win, but there's always the potential to adding more stalling points.
There you go. So Tyler Randall talking about some scoring over here. I like this. If you have a couple of seconds, let's take some questions from the chat. What do you say?
Awesome.
Okay, so Tyler Rookie Randall fighting June 24th, Bare Knuckle FC. It's going down, and I cannot wait to see this. Here's the poster over here on the Bkfc situation. Go give him a follow. Tyler, it's _ Rookie Randall with 2 L's. He is fighting
somebody commented on this, or not this
Capriel.
one. Somebody commented on that post of this, and someone said, it looks like you, but before prison.
You got to love the internet, right?
Oh, man, it's undefeated.
Do you deal with any trolling, or is it pretty civilized in your social?
It's pretty civilized. Every once in a while. My Facebook page, before I deleted it, was like crazy with some trolls. I didn't mind it, though. I thought it was kind of fun.
Yeah, I mean,
I kind of like that in a way. It's kind of funny, like people saying certain things or whatever. But then again, it's always sometimes it's annoying. I just don't care regardless either way.
I look at the people that troll the heaviest, or you're usually your biggest fans. Like, they consume the most of your content, whether it's fighting or whatever the hell you're doing. they're there all the time. So it is what it is.
They're forced to watch.
There you go. Okay, let's see what we got over here. Is Tyler part of the Patriot Front Group? Don't even know what that means. Do you know what that means?
No.
Thank you, Kevin, for the quality question. What is your favorite post-fight meal? Asks Ryan Sexton.
Oh, my favorite post-fight meal? Pizza. Pizza. It's like my favorite meal. I just love pizza, man.
Where was the best pizza and the worst pizza you've ever had?
Certain parts of Florida have had the worst pizza I've ever had, ever. Brooklyn, New York's probably the best pizza I've ever had.
Same experience over here. I mean, I'm in Arizona now, and pizza's pretty bad here. But Florida, oh my God, I was like, what is going on? But listen, even bad pizza is enjoyable in some sort of way, right? I guess.
So there's a pizza spot in Florida, if you're ever in Tampa. It's called Eddie and Sam's New York Pizza.
Good stuff, huh?
Oh my goodness, bro. It's amazing. Yeah.
I gotta check it out. I need to get some good pizza in Florida. Kendall Volker's in the chat, says, what are we doing? What are we all doing after the fight next Saturday? Kendall, what do we do? Oh, sorry.
Oh man, I don't even know yet. I have to talk to Mike and Gus D'Angelo to figure out exactly. But I probably end up being Fort Myers.
There you go, partying. You're gonna go out and do you like to have a good time after the fights?
So normally I usually don't. I usually mind my own. I just hang out with everybody. We smoke some weed, like just eat a bunch of food, and just talk about the fight, the night, everything that happened. But I think after this one, I might go enjoy it.
There you go. John Jarrell says, yo, no question, but my guy sounds like a solid-ass dude. Good luck, brother. So there you go. Look at that.
Thank you, brother.
Let's ask one more here. What is your favorite UFC fighter and boxer? What's your favorite UFC fighter and a favorite boxer?
My favorite boxer is Prince Nassim, by far. And I would have to say, like, I can't just say one. Like, they're literally tied between three right now. Honestly, John Jones, Demetrius Johnson, and Conor McGregor.
There we go. Conor McGregor, when he comes back, are we going to see some vintage Conor? Like, what's going to happen here? Like, my fingers are crossed, but I'm not holding my breath. What are we going to see with Conor?
He just needs to sign with bare knuckle.
Whoa.
Just let those hands go. Let's worry about that.
Wow, Conor. Well, yeah, you don't have to.
Irish boxing stance. He'll be fine. His footwork's good enough for it.
Hey, Artem went over there. I mean, his buddy was there.
Yeah. And what's Mike Perry going to do? Yeah, I think Mike Perry and McGregor, nice little bare knuckle fight like that. That'll pay the bills.
Do you ever think the UFC would let Conor McGregor go to bare knuckle? Like, I feel like the UFC just wants a stranglehold on Conor. They don't want him anywhere else besides, I guess, regular boxing. But do you think he would actually go over?
They're holding him as much as they can. Money talks more than anything.
Mm-hmm.
If they can give him the money that he wants, then yeah.
And bare knuckle's got that Triller money. So now it's a whole different ballgame.
Correct. And Triller just recently did some different things with their stocks. Not fully sure. Did a merger with another company, so they're growing in size. Yeah, and then you look at all the people all over bare knuckles mats already, and then you look at the Thailand mats and look at all the sponsors all over those mats.
I tell you what, bare knuckles doing some really good stuff. Like I said earlier, I really think we're seeing the beginning stages of something special here. This is like what we're watching right now. We're going to go back 10, 20 years and say, I was there from the beginning. I saw this shit when it started, and you competed in it, for God's sake. You're like building it yourself.
Dude, they were doing tryouts for it. Like, it's crazy to think. And rumor has it there's supposed to be a flyweight bare knuckle tournament starting in August.
Here we go. So is this the path to the belt that Tyra's going to look at?
I'm hoping. I'll take whatever path they'll give me, you know what I mean? I'm hoping to get a nice finish on this guy and then whoever they want to give me. Dodson, Easy E, any of those guys who they think are good enough for the belt, because I'll take it.
That's right. And yeah, that's right. John Dotson's over there as well. They dragged him over from XMMA, I saw. You would fight. Uh-oh. Dotson froze him. John Dotson stunned him. If you just jumping in with Tyler Randall, I think we lost a little connection here. We're gonna let him on his way very soon anyway. But let's have a proper send off. All right. Anyway, at least he's smiling. Oh, look at that. Look at this happy guy. This guy's got to kick some ass. He's got a fight coming up June 24th. Bare Knuckle FC, Hollywood, Florida. Florida, I tell you what, Florida's the place to be. If you want to see some fun stuff, go to Florida. Florida and Vegas, like super happening. You know, and bare knuckle with Bkfc and BYB and, you know, all this crazy stuff. You got XMMA doing stuff over there and just really good stuff in Florida. So Tyler Randall coming on the show, and let's see what happens. Let's see what happens as he conked out on us. Tamper's Tire Bro. Who's winning that game? I'm not even paying attention. I know the Stanley Cup Finals started, but I am done. I am done. Hey, Matt, how you doing? Sign me up. Anyway, I do want to talk about this on our thumbnail right here, as we have Conor McGregor being swooned over by Charlie Oliveira. And there is Makhachev not very happy about that. You know, he's like, hey, you're mine, buddy. Charles Oliveira wants to fight for legacy against Conor McGregor. We're going to get into that and the fights with Kattar and Emmett following the Tyler thing. But Tyler's kind of here. I'm going to try to call him back real quick. Just at least he can say a proper goodbye. That was a little weird. It sounds like a submarine. Hunt for Red October. It's interesting what he said. His phone died. Oh, maybe that's what happened. All right, I'll shoot him a message. Anyway, we got the gist of it. Tyler Randall, go give him a follow. It's _rookie Randall. Here he is on IG. Let me show you. Tyler Randall. I'm just gonna say, hold on a second. So there's his Instagram. I'll hit him up after the show. Yeah. So _rookie Randall. Go give him a follow over there. Say the MMA-Holes sent you. You know, throw some likes on his posts and help my man out. And looking forward to seeing his next fight. All right, I'm going to take a quick break. And then when we come back, we're going to talk about some UFC, baby. Hit the fucking like button if you haven't done so already. Tell your friends we're live, the MMA-Holes. And we'll be right back. There it is.
Let's be honest, when it comes to underwear, there's nothing more important than comfort. Why empty your pockets for generic underwear that loses comfort, quality, and style when you can slip into a pair of Sheath and get even more out of your daily wear? With Sheath underwear, you can treat your jewels like royalty as they are given their own private sanctum, keeping them secure and you in a state of bliss. Get 20% off Sheath now using promo code MMA-Holes. That's MMA-HOLES with the link in the description below.
And for the ladies?
Absolutely! Sheath isn't just for men. Ladies can now experience Sheath's style, comfort, and functionality too. Sheath for women is crafted using a signature modal elastane fabric blend for form-fitting breathability that will not affect the natural pH environment or the microclimate of the skin while producing that long-lasting, unimpeded comfort. Use promo code MMA-Holes, MMA-HOLES, for 20% off at sheathunderwear.com.
UndisputedBelts.com. Thank you very much to our sponsors. Appreciate it. Let's go, baby. Let's get back into the show. All righty. Here we go. So let's talk about it, man. Let's get it popping. We did a poll, dropped it out there, asked about Conor McGregor. I mean, it just fires everyone up. So here's the poll that we put up. Check it out. And thank you, Tyler. Yeah, Tyler said his phone did die. So, but yeah, we got a nice chunk of the interview in. And looking forward to seeing him compete. We'll probably do a Fight Buddies while Bare Knuckle is going down on that Friday. So, excuse me. But since the lightweight title is technically up for grabs, do you think Conor McGregor should fight for it in his return? Okay. Do you think he should fight for the lightweight title for it in his return? 37% of the people say. There's actually 37% that. Now, I'm going to be honest with you. I'm a Conor fan, and I understand why people do not want to see it to 63%. But here's the deal. Let's be serious. UFC has been great. Like, last Saturday was fire. It really was. Like, it just was such a good card. I enjoyed every minute of it. It was just a blast. And as the card progressed, it just got more and more fun. We went into the pay-per-view. It was fire. Absolute fire. Yuri Prohaska. And you had the controversial Shevchenko fight. It doesn't matter. She won regardless. The Joanna Jędrzejczyk fight with Zhang Wei Li and Joanna retiring, getting smoked. Like, it was just so much good stuff on that card. But here's the problem with these UFC cards. It's the problem. We don't got juice. You know what I'm saying? Like, we don't got that juice. We need the juice back in. And ladies and germs, I need it. I need that fix. I need the McGregor juice to get back in. I need someone to just spike some serious life, some serious press conference, trash talking, embeddeds where you want to run to rather than be like, I'll pass on that one. I want to see it. Like, yes, the product is good. I enjoy the UFC. I watch these fights, but I need more. I need more from it. So I need Conor McGregor. You know who else needs more? Apparently Charles Oliveira. Because you look at this, and Charlie Olives is calling out Conor McGregor. Here's the thing. Fighters want to get paid. Fans want to be entertained. And we are dying for Conor. We're dying for him. Ever since the man got hurt, it's been fucking a meh fest of excitement. Now, good fights. But when you have that influx of crazy casual fans jumping into the chat, the lead up, the arguing all week, who would win, blah, 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 I just feel like it's just kind of gone. And Charles Oliveira says this, Conor McGregor would be a very good fight for me, which is just nonsense. It wouldn't be a good fight. Let's be realistic. It wouldn't. Like, Charles should beat him. At this stage of the game, Charles should fucking destroy him. But Charles Oliveira even wants to get paid. It would put a lot of money in my pocket. And at this moment, that's the most important thing. And it would also be really good for my legacy. Now, I don't understand how that'd be good for his legacy. Conor's, some people say he's completely done. Now, for me, what is he, 32, 33 years old? I still have faith. I still have hope. But realistically, at 155, no, I don't know what's really going to be happening for him over there. Will I be waving the flag when he comes back? Of course, but I'm also realistic. For me to have my story, regardless if he's coming from defeat or not, he's a guy who's made history. So I think it would be great, but it's not just up to me. If it were up to me, this fight would already be happening. And that's what Charles Oliveira says. Now, Islam Makhachev has something to say. Well, actually, it's Ali Abdelaziz. But, let's pretend it's Islam. Where is it? Oh, God. Where are you? Wait for it. Oh, here it is. Same post. What am I doing? So basically, Islam Makhachev retweeted this with 2 clown emojis because let's be honest, Islam is the guy. Like, he's the guy that should be fighting Charles Oliveira. That's the fight. No doubt. Like, if you're a purist, that's what you want to see, right? But I got to be honest with you. I'm at the point right now where I'll take anything. I need anything. Just bring Conor back. I honestly don't want to see him fight Charles Oliveira. I don't think that's the fit. As a Conor fan, don't think that really works out for me. But if that's, so be it. Conor could fight anybody right now, and I would be all over it because I need the juice, baby. I need the juice. Conor's coming for Yuri. Conor's coming for everybody.
Wonderful.
I mean, help me out here. Even the fans that can't stand Conor. There's a lot of you out there, and I get it. He's done some weird shit outside of the cage. He's a little obnoxious, running around with all his money and his Lamborghini yachts, and people hate success. They can't stand it. It makes them sick. People calling him a racist or whatever, or not racist, a rapist, whatever the fuck you want to call him. You know, people are shitting on Conor, and they have their reasons for it. That's fine. I'm fine with that. But even you, the people out there, I mean, do we not need this fucking guy back? Like, come on. We need the juice. I'm getting no juice. We got a fantastic card with Israel Adesanya and Cannonier. Sean Strickland is like our only hope right now, but he doesn't move the needle like Conor. Chubb's coming in.
Nobody wants to see Charlie fight anyone.
And it's kind of crazy. It's crazy because, you know what? When you look at the numbers, Chubbs is not insane for saying that. And it's wild. It's wild that the sport that we're consuming, you have a guy in Charles Oliveira who is a fantastic story. To me, a very likable guy. To me, a very exciting fighter. But it doesn't have any juice. So what's the problem? Is the UFC doing a terrible job marketing? Or maybe it's difficult. The guy doesn't speak much English. You know, the whole nice guy thing is great, but it doesn't sell pay-per-views. Like, what do we do here? Do we just wait for McGregor to come back for it to get super duper exciting again? Do we get that crazy juice, the chills? Now, every pay-per-view morning, I do get those chills. I do get fired up. I get excited, you know, because I'm a fan. But what adds to it is the casuals. When people, the Joe Schmoes that never watch, are jumping in on the night as well, and it's just it's buzzing. Where everyone's talking about it. Wherever you go, you're hearing people talking. That's what I want again. That's what I need. I yearn for. Here, as a UFC fan, I feel like they're not releasing any pay-per-view numbers. The embeddeds have been fucking trash. The press conferences are not even happening anymore, and when they do, they're lame. Like, I just feel like the other stuff that what got me into the UFC and got me excited in the UFC, the hook is in. I'm going to watch, but I kind of yearn for the old stuff too. The theatrics, the craziness. Maybe Colby Covington comes back and does something. Maybe Sean Strickland defeats Pereira, however you say it. And maybe Sean Strickland's the guy. Not the most likable, but people love him at the same time. He's the guy that plays both sides. I like Sean Strickland. I have no problem with Sean. Maybe he's the guy. I don't know. I'm not quite sure if it's him. If he loses, that's all out the window. And Colby Covington, all out the window. The only guy that can lose and maintain the juice is Conor. He's the only guy. What are we going to do when McGregor is completely gone and out of the picture, which he pretty much is right now? He's just a social media presence. That's it. Like, what's going to happen here? Are we just going to basically rely on just fun stuff, fun fights, which is cool, but don't you miss the juice? Let's see what the chat says. It doesn't sell. Let's see. He needs to pull a Colby and be a character. LOL, just kidding. Conor out of USADA pool for a while now. He won't be back for months and months. I don't know. Is that true? Is he not? Is he completely out of the pool? Because if he is out of the pool, I mean, it takes a while for him to get back in. I would imagine he's still pissing in cups, but I could be wrong about that. UFC overpriced their product. There's another problem, King James, and I completely agree. I was thinking about that today. I was thinking about, if you look at our fight reaction streams, right, you could basically judge how the UFC is doing with their pay-per-view buys. It usually goes hand in hand. You know, big pay-per-view buy nights, we get big views. Low pay-per-view buy nights, our views have diminished from it. You know, like, we go hand in hand with it. So even as a show, like, we need some circus shit. We need something here. It's just so much breakdown. Like, everyone's doing fucking breakdowns and, oh, let's match this person up against that person. Who's going to win the fight? Whoop-de-fucking-do. Like, I mean, it's just a dime a dozen. We need excitement here. We need parties. Now, thank God the MMA-Holes has music and crazy graphics over here to keep you titillated until the next big thing pops into your fucking eyeballs. But this is what we do over here. But it would be nice to have the person, Conor McGregor, which, let's be honest, this show was built off of Conor. Our rise to success was because of a guy like Conor McGregor. We need more. I'm hungry for it. I'm hungry for some more McGregor here. Or someone else to come in. Is Sean O'Malley? Is Sean O'Malley the guy? Sean O'Malley coming out there and saying this. I'm here every card and most are regular, says Do Chronic. Sean O'Malley re-signs with the UFC. He wants to make $1 million per fight. That's what he wants here. And you know what? The guy's got the juice, right? He's got the look. He's got that marketability with the quirkiness, and he finishes fighters. Sean O'Malley can be that guy. My problem with Sean O'Malley is if you watch a press conference with Sean O'Malley involved, it is a little more interesting. I'll give him that. But it's not the same, man. It's not the juice. It's not it. It just doesn't, the whiny voice with a little trash talk here and there is cool. It just, I don't know. I just don't feel like I got that thing. I feel like that I'm spoiled from the Conor movement. Maybe Sean O'Malley does take it to the next level, and I think this guy will be a superstar. If not, I mean, he already is buying Lamborghinis and doing his thing. He's already very successful with the limited time he's had in the UFC. He's done very well, and I commend him for that. But is he the guy? Is the torch going to be passed over to Sean O'Malley? Is it going to be Israel Adesanya? Is that the guy? You go into IZZY, the last stylebender. One thing I've noticed, I've been keeping an eyeball on it. He's doing fantastic when it comes to his social media, his YouTube videos. This guy, he's got a fan base. He's got a massive fan base. The problem is juice. I still feel like Izzy needs a dance partner. He's very exciting, don't get me wrong, but I feel like there needs to be someone else. I'm waiting for that other guy or gal to come in there and say, okay, I don't need a dance partner. I'm going to watch you every time. Now, Nate Diaz is a guy that I feel that way. He's a guy I get excited about. I get pumped up for it. Maybe Yuri. I like Yuri a lot. I like Yuri as well. I think, though, his respect and his subtleness in press conferences and interviews is not going to just fucking move the needle when it comes to pay-per-view buys. But my goodness, when it comes to him fighting, dude, the guy is amazing. He really is. Does the UFC have to bring in someone like how they did with Brock Lesnar, bringing that guy in from the WWE? Is there going to have to be some circus thing that comes into the UFC to spark a fire and ignite pay-per-view buys? When you got guys like Charles Oliveira basically saying, I want to fight Conor, when that is happening, there's a problem. There's a big problem here. Guys are begging fighters that don't deserve title shots for fights to get paid big bucks. And the reason why they're begging that is because they know they can't pull the pay-per-view buys that get them paid the money they want. It's a big, huge issue. Huge. Islam Makhachev should be fighting Oliveira, no question about it. Charles not into it. Charles is not into it. Nobody moves the needle like John Jones. Is that the thing? Is Johnny Bones Jones his comeback at heavyweight, if he ever comes back? Is that the thing? I mean, John, he made some excitement. He did. Not in a good way, but he still did create some sort of ruckus.
Wonderful, wonderful.
We got Chubbs coming back in.
Sean O'Malley is not the guy because he has refused to fight people. Conor McGregor has never refused to fight someone. He got famous saying, if you're breathing, I will knock you out. Sugar is manipulating his rise with cans.
Yes, but I'm not going to discredit Sugar for doing that because it's smart. It's not stupid. It's a good way to rise up the rankings. Use your platform to make money on social media, gaming, merchandise. So Sugar's doing a very smart business move with this. So I'm not going to kill Sugar for that. But to compare him with Conor McGregor, yes. Conor has done something like he basically, I'm not here to take part. I'm here to take over. And just the streets are fucking ignited with fucking flags. And maybe this is the thing too. Conor had all of Ireland. He had the whole Irish fucking pride and country. He drags it over to America and then steals America's heart. You know what I'm saying? So here Sean O'Malley's already in America. He's got to fucking steal the heart of everyone else in other countries. And maybe other countries are like, yeah, hipster kid playing video games with clown hair, I'm good. Like, I don't know internationally, is Sean O'Malley like a massive superstar? In the States, I'm pretty sure he's pretty well known. But outside of the U.S., and I want to ask the people from outside of the U.S., like, what do you think about Sean O'Malley? Like, is he a guy that gets you going? I think what Conor had as well was that international, he had the accent, he had the swag. He comes in, steals the heart of America, knocking fools out. I'll fight anyone. I think that's the problem with Sean O'Malley. He's in the States. I think that might be what's hurting him. Not like he's hurt, but I'm saying not pushing him to that next level. O'Malley is good TV. Let me know for people that are outside the U.S. I'm actually curious. The longer John Jones goes without fighting, I think he is not the same fighter we know anymore. Yeah, we won't know until he comes back. Ian Gary versus Conor. Yeah, Ian Gary, I don't know. I'm still not on board with that one. If Jordan twerks on Patty's snoring corpse, will he pick up UK fans? I tell you what, so there's another guy we could put in the mix. Paddy Pimblett. He keeps on winning fights. He might be the guy. Paddy could very well be the guy. Very well. But Jordan Levitt coming on the show next Wednesday night on the MMA-Holes Live. We'll get his side of the story next Wednesday.
Wonderful, wonderful.
Chubbs.
Let's be real, Sean O'Malley fans don't have a job or money. They ain't buying pay-per-views with the EBT card.
Yeah, but they're buying a boatload of his shirts and sweaters, and they're buying his merch. His merch is selling. It is selling. So, you know, kids ask mommy and daddy for a couple of bucks, and they'll buy a couple of shirts. Thank you, Chubbs. Thank you, Chubbs, for the donations. Let's go, Chubbs, boy.
Wonderful.
Add to that, but the other way McGregor talks answers back. Wow. O'Malley's still bitching and crying to DC about the Cheeto fight. Yeah, that's another thing, too. Earlier in O'Malley's career, he had that mishap. He handled it. I mean, he bounced back from it nicely, though. He did. And it kind of aged well because Cheeto looks great. So, I was a little harder on them. I'm not going to be as hard now. Don't even pay current champs $1 million per fight. Yeah. Well, here's the thing. Sean O'Malley is a main card guy on a pay-per-view. And you look at who he's fought. So the marketing with Sean O'Malley has worked tremendously. I think he will. You know, he's fighting Pedro Munoz, which is a big step up for him. He beats Pedro, which is a very good chance he does do that. Now he's in the mix. Yeah, I think $1 million per fight is it's possible. It is. It is possible for a guy like Sean O'Malley. I truly think so. The guy's got numbers. Now, if he does have the international pull, like if he does prove he could pull that too, yeah, he can do it. KHAMZAT is the guy, bruh. He got the skills. Yeah, you know what? Maybe KHAMZAT is the guy. Maybe. All right, so who would be? KHAMZAT, Paddy Pimblett. I would say... Can you put Kevin Holland? No, I don't think Kevin Holland. He's had too many mishaps. He's fighting this weekend. By the way, this card's pretty fun too this weekend. We'll talk about that as well. I would say Paddy and KHAMZAT would be the guys. Are they going to give us that Conor juice? Happy birthday to Glove Touch. Happy birthday. Has turned 17 today. Sean has Sugar Feet. Blood Diamond. Paddy the Teabag Pimblett, mate. Fatty Pimblett. I like how his buddy Schmitty sort of called Sean out for his questionable open relationship. So yeah, so look at this card here. Couple of, let's look at, first off, let's go over here. What if training with KHAMZAT really pays off and Darren Till comes back an animal? Well, that would be cool. I mean, Darren Till had the makings of being a superstar. He did. He was right there, but he kind of fell flat. So UFC 276, which is happening very, very soon. July 2nd. Very good card. Really, really fun card. Let's take a peek at the entire thing. But, the problem with this thing is I do feel that Izzy is going to be, you know what, maybe what Izzy's going to do is he's going to be respectful and not quite take Jared out too quick in this fight. He might play with him a little bit, but I do still think it's going to be lopsided. I think Izzy's going to get the job done. Both fighters on a 2-fight win streak. Izzy's loss was to Blachowicz. He did move up. If he didn't lose up, he'd be unblemished. Nigeria versus the U.S. But looking at the rest of this card, Volkanovski versus Holloway. Some people are sick of the two of those fighting, but still, I got to be honest with you, I'm interested. I have some sort of interest. Now, does it get me super excited? No. It's not making me watch this pay-per-view, but added to this medley of fights, I don't hate it. Miesha Tate versus Lauren Murphy. She's dropping down in weight, so we're getting to see Miesha fight at a lower weight class. Lauren Murphy, a little long in the tooth, but still a badass. We'll see how that goes. It could be a decent scrap. Not terrible. I think a little high up on the card. I don't understand how this is ahead of Strickland and Pereira. I hope that changes. I don't know. Is Miesha still a massive draw? Like, Strickland versus Pereira. Come on, bump that shit up. This fight over here is a #1 contender fight against the Izzy killer. Only 5-1 in the mixed martial arts world, but has a lot of experience in other aspects of the combat sports game. As in Sean Strickland on a nice win streak, moving forward, talking a lot of shit. Tarzan versus Potan. I don't know how you say that guy's name, but anyway. Pereira versus Strickland. Whoever wins this will fight for the belt. That is right. Middleweight belt. That's your next contender. Then you got Pedro Munoz versus O'Malley. So the card is opening up with O'Malley versus Munoz. Munoz, O'Malley, Strickland, Pereira, Tate versus Murphy, Volkanovski versus Holloway, Adesanya versus Cannonier. Magnifique. Love it. Love it. Brad Tavares versus Duplessis is ending the prelims. You got the return of Jessica Rose Clark versus Stole Your Ankle. Jessica Rose Clark, at least she's easier on the eyes. Uriah Hall versus Andre Muniz. Still a fan of Uriah. I don't care what anyone says. I'm still a fan. A little bit of a head case. Laid an egg against Sean Strickland. But I'm still a fan of Uriah. I still like watching him fight. He's always got that flash ability. Jessica Ai coming back against Macy Barber. That's a banger. Jessica Ai, say what you will about her. She always comes in to fight. She's not looking to fucking, lay on someone. She's looking to fucking scrap. And Macy Barber's a lunatic. That's a great fight. So here we are. We are one. By the way, this fight over here should be ahead of Rose Clark and Stole Your Ankle. That's just my opinion. I would swap those female fights. Although Jessica is, a little easier on the eyes. And then look at this, Robbie. How is this not Robbie Lawler versus Brian Barberena? How is this not headlining the prelims? Two fucking savages. Oh my God. This card. Look how many fights we are in, and they're just bangers. Jim Miller versus Bobby Green. What? Brad Riddle versus Jalen Turner? My goodness. And we're opening up with Ian Gary versus Gabe Green. This card is so well balanced. So well balanced. Not super top heavy. Throughout the entire card, you just can't go to the bathroom. You just can't do it. There's something in each fight over here. Love it. Absolutely love UFC 276. So here's the deal. This, as a UFC fan, I'm pumped up about. They're going to do a trash job marketing this. The only thing that will save this card when it comes to marketing is Sean Strickland just saying crazy shit. It sucks that his Twitter's gone. The UFC has to find a way to put a microphone in front of Sean Strickland. Get him up there. If they have a press conference, put Sean on the fucking dais. It would be such a disservice to have a pre-fight press conference for UFC 276. Do not just have Izzy Cannonier, Max Volkanovski. Do not do that. Don't do it. You do whatever you can to put Sean Strickland on that fucking dais. Whatever. Breaking Sterling versus Dillashaw is signed. Let's go, baby. Look at that. Breaking news from Drunk Savage.
Wonderful.
Love that fight. That's good. That's good. I like that. That's good. TJ makes it easy. You have to put Sean Strickland on the dais. If you want to sell some fucking pay-per-views, you put him on there. You know who else you put on there? You put Sean O'Malley. You throw Sean O'Malley on there as well. I know he's nasally, he's whiny, the whole thing. You fucking put him on there. You put Sugar. Get him on there. Extend the dais. Put more personalities on there. Give us a chance to enjoy a fucking good press conference. Give me some good embeddeds. Let's go. Let's ride to UFC 276 where we're just chubbed up and ready to party. That's what we need, baby. We need to put some life into this UFC again. Oh, yeah. Come on. Great mittens.
Come on, get loud. MMA-Holes in the crowd. Come on, get loud. MMA-Holes in the crowd. MMA-Holes in the crowd. MMA-Holes in the crowd. MMA-Holes in the crowd.
Shout out for the $6 donation. The Great Mittens. Come on. Thank you for the donations on a Wednesday night. Absolutely wonderful, wonderful.
Wonderful, wonderful.
Now, we have a fight card this weekend. What would the UFC do without us? I mean, we're doing the work for them. We're hyping you guys up for this shit. Like, they need to do something better. You got to sell me, man. You got to get me juiced up. I'm going to watch these fights, yes, but I want to get fired up. I want to go crazy over this shit. Don't just say, oh, they'll watch. Let's jack up the fucking pay-per-views. They'll watch.
Wonderful, wonderful.
The glove touch.
In him.
He's him. 17 years old. And he is him. Thank you, Glove Touch, for the donation. Happy 17. He's a man now, the Glove Touch. He is a man. Let's look at this card this weekend. Now, this is a fire fight. Emmett versus Kattar. Let's go, baby. This fight will not suck. This will be incredibly exciting. Both guys looking for carnage, looking for some wins. Calvin Kattar is the favorite. He's a minus 240, according to Tapology. Josh Emmett, who is on a 4-fight win streak. Is Emmett a live dog on this one? I don't know. I feel like this is tailor-made for Kattar. Let me just look. I'm going to look at a little mybookie.ag promo code MMAHOLES for 100% match in your first deposit. I'm going to look at the rest of the card in a second. Let's see. Okay, so yeah, minus 235. Okay. You ready for this? Now, I listened to Cowboy Cerrone on the Media Jammy. Let's go back over here. Media Scrum. And Cowboy sounds a little bit better this time around. He's got to fight like 3 more times. So, Ann, you should be excited about this. Cowboy Cerrone is not going to hang it up after this fight. He wants to go 50. He wants to get 50 in the books. So he's going to continue no matter what happens. Against Joe Lozon, he said Joe deserves this fight. This, if he moved on and fought someone else, it's just not right. So they're going to run this thing back. I think it's a good one. You got 2 guys that have been around the game for a long time. Joe Lozon, Cowboy Cerrone. That is your co-main event. And I got to say, I'm kind of happy it's on this card. It fills out this card nicely. Calvin Kattar, Josh Emmett, Donald Cerrone versus Joe Lozon, Tim Means, the Dirty Bird, versus Kevin Holland. I mean, what? Dirty Bird on a 3-fight win streak. Just when you think the guy is old and done, 38 years of age, Tim Means on a 3-fight win streak, now fighting a guy that looked very good at welterweight, Kevin Holland. Kevin Holland at welterweight is good. This is a fantastic don't blink fight. I love it. It's wonderful, wonderful.
Wonderful, wonderful.
Then you got Joaquin Buckley, knockout of the century versus Albert Duraev. These guys apparently used to train together. Buckley says he's coming for all the bonuses. Looking forward to this fight over here. So the top 4 fights, bangers on the main card. Is Mugalov versus Kudala. Hey, listen, they got some fucking crazy names. It's got to be a good fight. Julian Marquez versus Rodriguez Obama. What? The dude that called out Miley Cyrus fighting Barack Obama. Barack Obama was on a great win streak and then bam, loses in his last fight. So he's looking to collect a win here, bounce back. Both guys are fun to watch. Love this matchup. So great stuff over here. We're 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 fights off the top. Love them all. Adrian Yanez versus Tony Kelly. Let me refresh your memory. Tony Kelly had controversial conversation in the corner when he was cornering, what's her name? Glove Touch's gal. Cowboy hat chick. Give me your name. It's slipping my mind. I can't remember her name. Blonde. Cowboy hat. Yeehaw! Nazi ex-husband. What the fuck's her name? Anyway, he said some interesting things about, I'm not going to say it. But anyway, Adrian Yanez, who is a prospect who's on a nice win streak himself, Aljamain Sterling had raving reviews of him, training with him for his previous fight. This is a good one. Andrea Lee. Thank you very much. Andrea Lee. Name that ex-Nazi wife.
Wonderful.
Movies with MMA fighters all suck, just saying, says Toe Cutter. When is the Cowboy movie coming out? I will give it a go. Although, hold on. So, I saw in the Discord, and go check out our Discord, link in the description down below. I saw, I think it was Tropic Tom that put it in there. So, there was like a live red carpet of the... and as soon as I go in, they're like on the red carpet doing interviews, like bashing trannies. And I'm like, oh my God. It's just like this... I mean, no fucks given, right wing, just bashing of liberals. I'm like, they're going there. Check out the red carpet of the. I don't know what's up with the Cowboy Cerrone movie, but why? What is the? It was hilarious. I'm like, they're just not giving a fuck. Anyway, one's in the chat if you know what I'm talking about. But it would just caught me off guard because I'm like, shouldn't they be promoting the movie? Why are they bashing trannies? But they were making jokes about, well, Gina Carano is an actual real woman, not one with a dick or something. I'm like, what the fuck? Did anyone see that? Oh God, this world is
wonderful.
It's falling apart. D-Rest.
Happy birthday, Kid Gloves.
Oh, let's go, baby! A big happy birthday to the Glove Touch. 17's a pretty big birthday. Pretty big birthday. I do say that it's a good one. But I'm going to still watch the movie. I'm going to still check it out. So weird.
Super chat.
Man vs. Mankind. Just drop it at $5. Let's go. Tickle. Thank you. Well, actually, that doesn't sound bad. Even if you... Here's the thing. Even if you agree, I'm fine with it. Knock yourself out. If you want to bash liberals, knock yourself out. If you're a liberal, want to bash fucking the right side, go ahead. I don't give a shit what you do in your personal time. But it's just weird to me that I'm tuning into the fucking okay, here's the red carpet for Cowboy Cerrone versus with Gina Carano, Cowboy movie, whatever. Okay, I want to see what these guys and gals have to say about the movie or, the experience, whatever. I don't know. And the first thing, they're cracking jokes about women with dicks and shit and trannies. And I'm like, oh my God. Like, what? What are we doing? What do we do? I mean, I don't know. Maybe it should have just said on the thumbnail, hey, this is what you're in for. It kind of caught me off guard. I want to see Glove Touch take a few shots. I mean, that's illegal. Gina was canceled by Disney. Yeah. Listen, I don't think Gina should have been canceled by Disney. At the same time, when you're working for Disney and you're very heavily, politically in like the zone on Twitter. I mean, Gina didn't give a fuck on Twitter. She just went full blown one side going against the other side, whatever. Your opinion's your opinion. But when you're working for a company that's Disney, for God's sakes, Disney got rid of the fucking flags in the UFC. You can't bring a flag into the UFC. Like what I'm saying? I don't know. It's just like, I can't believe they fired me. Why would Disney fire? Well, because you're fucking ruffling feathers. They don't want that. What do you expect? Like, it's not brain surgery. If you're working for fucking Mickey Mouse, what do you think you could do? Just run around and fucking make, I don't know, Nazi jokes or whatever? You can't do it. You just can't. You're working for a big fucking mouse. That just is, I don't know. Now, I'm all about free speech. I think everyone should be able to say whatever the fuck they want. Everyone should be as sensitive. I get it. I'm with you on that. But at the same time, if you're working for a company that will cancel you at any fucking giving time, you're fucking on The Mandalorian, for God's sakes. Star Wars, Disney. Like, You can't be doing that, man. You just can't. You could be singing for me. I'll have Jesse sing for you next stream. I'm not going to be singing for you tonight, Glove Touch. I am not in a singing mood, but very happy birthday to you. What if a fighter has their flag tattooed on themselves? They're probably going to have to take a black marker. Fook Disney, we want flags, you pedo grooming Nazi. You pedo grooming Nazis, son of a bitch. It's crazy, man. It's a weird world. I wish I didn't have to be shocked by seeing things and just letting people just, who gives a fuck? But it's just the world we live in. Jeremiah Wells versus Court McGee on the card. Jasmine Jasudavicius versus Silva. You know, I'm actually interested in this girl. This girl over here, she looks good. She does. She came in from the Contender Series, right? Got a unanimous decision. I think she trains with Strickland and them. I think. I could be wrong. Oh, no, she's Canadian. But for some reason, she has some sort of tie. Maybe she's been over to Extreme Couture or something. I have no idea. But, well, she did get off a win of Kay Hansen. Kay Hansen wasn't very good. Poor Kay Hansen. You see this girl? God, what a mess. It's like she gets cut from the UFC and it's just she's a complete sex. Like, it's like everything's sex now. It's like, here I am. Look at my fucking ass. I mean, Jesus. I mean, listen, if it works and you're making money off of it, knock yourself out. And then you got Jessica I with like the fire emoji. And she's trying to transition herself into a sexy thing. Oh, boy. Jeez. Here she is doing squats. Kay Hansen. Not the best of UFC careers, but she's still she's 21, 22. She's super young, this girl. But they're just a nice, convenient angle for Kay Hansen over here. Here she is. This picture baffled the hell out of me. So, you know, it was hilarious. I'm not going to say any names. A friend of mine liked this picture, and I was dying laughing because I'm like, dude, what are you doing? Like, what are you liking? What's going on here? Why in the world would Kay Hansen post this fucking picture? It looks like she's got, like, what is going on here? Why would you do that to yourself? Okay, this is going on, yes, but what the fuck? Why would you do that, Kay? Like, what? I don't know, man. I don't know what's going on there, but that's former UFC fighter Kay Hansen. She looks young. Yeah, she does. I mean, she is young. She's, what, 21, 22? But she's just posting fucking pictures of herself, and it's like, damn. I don't know. I feel bad for her. I do. Like, I feel bad. But then again, she's making way more money than I'm ever making, so. What am I doing? Maybe I'm just jealous. Maybe I'm jealous I don't have a forehead and a boob. I mean, my forehead's almost there. Just go ahead, shave this out and I'll be good to go. I just don't, maybe I'm jealous of her booty. I wish I had a booty like that. I don't know. But anyway, the reason why we're talking about Kay Hansen is because she was on the hit list over here of Jasmine. I'm probably saying this name wrong. I always call her Jasudavicius, but I think it's, I don't know. Canadian friends in the chat, help me out. How do you pronounce this name? But she's good. She's a good prospect. Looking forward to seeing her fight again. Gloria DePaulo versus Oliveira. DePaulo is the girl from the Contender Series as well, right? I'm almost positive she was in the Contender Series, right? Yes, she was. Okay. Lost to Vlismus and Genu Frey. Beat Diana Balbita, who's very popular on Twitter. Okay, so Dupuelis looking to get the job done. You have a fine booty. Don't put yourself down. Thank you, Drunk. I appreciate that. I'm very self-conscious about my booty. Look at this. Very low on the card. You have Cody Stamann. Cody Stamann versus Eddie Wineland. Like, that is fight number 3. Kyle Daukaus versus Roman DeLeeds. Holy shit. Wait, hold on a second. Oh, I thought she was on the card too. Is DeLeeds still smashing Vlismus? We just... we made Chris Curtis a little uncomfortable because he's friends with Vlismus. Also known as Bays. What was her former name? And apparently she was accused of running off on her husband with this guy, Roman DeLeeds. And I mean, how could you blame him? This guy's like, this is Sparta!
Wonderful, wonderful.
And Chris kind of, he pleaded the fifth. But I'm curious if DeLeeds is still smashing her. Does anyone know? Whatever happened? Cheyenne Vlismus. I don't know. But anyway... He would kill IZZY. Yeah, I mean, he's like twice the size, triple the size. So Kyle Daukaus versus Roman Dolidze. Let's go, baby. That's a good fight. That's a fucking banger. Daukaus had that fight with Jamie Pickett, the Kevin Holland one. That was a little controversial over there. No conclusion for that. But that's the second fight on the card this weekend. Another banging fight on Phil Hawes versus Deron Winn. Deron Winn, Habib's boy over here versus Phil Hawes, coming off a win to Chris Curtis. Before that, Kyle Daukaus win. Before that, Imavov. Before that, Malkoun. And before that was a Contender Series. So he came in here. Chris Curtis says, sit down, son. And Phil Hawes takes his first loss. But Darren Winn coming off a win in his last fight. He had that 2-fight win streak. Lost to Mearshart, lost to Darren Stewart. So looking to go 2 in a row. ATT. This is starting off the card this weekend. Very good fight night. So we got a couple of weeks of good fights. This is a really good fight night. This is a solid one. 14 fights this Saturday, and we'll be live for it. Let's look at the time for this card. AKA pulls it off. We'll do the picks on Friday. But I don't know. We'll see. So it starts 1 p.m., 4 p.m., 5, 6, 7. Okay, so it's going to be an early card. Oh, damn. We got an early one Saturday. Okay. A little earlier for us. So 1 p.m. our time. But 14 fights here. Really good one. This is gonna be a wild night. This is gonna go fight into fight into fight into fight. So make sure you got a nice cold beverage, got yourself some good food ready to go. Pull up a nice seat in front of your phone, your computer, your TV, whatever way you're consuming the fights or consuming the MMA holes. It's gonna be a good night. So we got some good UFC events. So the conversation I was having before, I need you. The only other thing I need now is crazy juice. I need some circus stuff. I need the Conor McGregor experience again. That's what I need. If you have these banger fight cards, Conor McGregor thrown into the mix, Sean O'Malley comes up and blossoms and he shows that he is truly a superstar, or Paddy Pimblett, or even Jordan Levitt. Like, say Jordan Levitt smokes Paddy Pimblett. You got to put some respect on his name. The guy is wild. So maybe, who knows, maybe Jordan's the next big thing. I don't know. Khamzat Chimaev's return. He wants to return before the year is up. Let's see. Let's see how it goes. Fingers crossed that we get some excitement, but at least we got some good cards. Was that pick from Disneyland? Maybe picks from Hunter's laptop.
Wonderful, wonderful.
When is Beneil Dariush going to be fighting again? He is an exciting fighter. He is, Gordon. He gets zero respect, Benny. No one talks about him. I don't know. There is nothing locked up with the guy. He should be fighting. He was supposed to fight Makhachev. And hold on a second. Let me put him up over here. Give me 1 second. Okay. I don't know how. Was it Beneil? Is it EI? Or no? There he is. Beneil Dariush. Yeah, look at this, man. Put some respect on Benny's name. The problem is he's just a nice, family guy, right? When it comes to outside of the cage, so people kind of just whatever. And people taking his fight, it's just more risk than reward, right? Because Benny's so good that why risk fighting the dude when you're not going to get a massive paycheck? So Benny's kind of getting the run of the deal. No fights scheduled yet. The man is sitting at where are you at? You're at number 6. Problem is Charles Oliveira should be the champ, so Benny should be 5, really. But bumped down because there's no actual champion. I say Benny versus Chandler is good. If you want to get Chandler a fight, let's go, Benny Chandler. Put them together. Well, Chandler's coming off a win. You could run back Chandler Gaethje. See, here's the thing. Okay, let's try to figure this out. I don't think Poirier is coming back anytime soon. I don't know what his deal is. So the question is, if you do Charles Oliveira versus Makhachev, you got Justin Gaethje over here. Do you run it back with Michael Chandler? I mean, you might have no choice. You legit, unless Nate Diaz comes into the mix somewhere and they put some novelty fight together, I mean, you might have no choice but to have Gaethje versus Chandler. I would just say, okay, let's hope Poirier comes back. Let's do Oliveira versus Makhachev. Let's do Poirier versus Gaethje. We'll run that one back. That was a good fight, right? So run that back. Oliveira versus Makhachev for the belt. Michael Chandler versus Benny Dariush. It's all fixed. It's all fixed. And you could put Conor's return fight against RDA. RDA's been looking pretty decent. That was supposed to happen back in the day. Not impossible. Although I say Conor versus Ferguson. And look at this. Tony Ferguson moved up a spot. How does that happen? You know how that happens? They're probably thinking about McGregor versus Ferguson. This fight, I've been yelling about it forever. It puts RDA in a weird spot. RDA could fight Fiziev. They were supposed to fight anyway. So everyone's taken care of. You got the top 10 locked up. Fiziev, RDA, Ferguson, McGregor, Dariush, Chandler, Islam Makhachev versus Charlie, Oliveira, Dustin Poirier, Gaethje 2. Boom. Your top 10 fights. Whoa, what the fuck? Come on!
Warning. There is a deer loose.
What?
This deer is very dangerous. Warning. I urge you to stay inside. Keep your wife's legs closed.
$250.
In the attic. If you don't have an attic, we'll hide them in the refrigerator. Deer, 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 deer. Run from the fucking deer. Deer, 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 deer. Oh my God, it's a fucking deer. Run from the deer. Run from the deer. Deer, 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 deer. Oh deer. We can't contain the deer.
The deer loose.
Pure madness. Run for your lives. Or hide in the refrigerator. Oh shit, it's a deer. Oh my God, it's a fucking 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 deer.
What? What? What?
STFU as in shut the fuck up lol.
A $250 donation unleashing the deer on a Wednesday night. D-Rest. 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 What? 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 Wow. What a bomb on a Wednesday night. How about that? Did not expect that to happen. Hey, a big shout out to D-Rest. Catches some heat in the chat. Catches some heat in the Discord. But my man is incredibly supportive. And my man is helping this show progress forward and move on the internet. People like that, with their generosity, that's what keeps us alive. Thank you so much, D-Rest. Truly appreciate that. Humbled by that donation. Wow. Holy shit. What were we talking about? Benil Dariush? Well, that completely caught me off guard. That was fucking A. Anyway, so I just matched up the top 10 lightweights. That's done. Wow. Best community in the world. Can't beat them. That is crazy. A very, I'm like lost for words. That helps with diapers. Listen, during these times, the fact that someone just dropped $250 in one shot, I don't have a word to say. That's just like incredibly humbling. Holy cow. Okay, we move on. We move on a Wednesday night, a $250 donation, a bomb from D-Rest. Let's go over to Twitter and finish up on these stories. Whew, my God. All right. couple of things here. Let's see what Glove Touch dropped on the Twitterverse. Met the greatest boxer of my generation, Jake Paul GOAT. Okay. So, yeah, we spoke about this bare knuckle. By the way, Tyler Randall was on the show fighting June 24th. Bare knuckle fighter. He is 2-0, unblemished, undefeated. And now Greg Hardy has been signed to BKFC. I think this is a very smart signing. Now, not the most liked guy in the world. Criticized when he was in the UFC. My man put hands on a woman or some shit. I don't know the whole story. But because I don't know the whole story, I'm not going to shit on the dude. It wasn't my favorite UFC fighter. Kind of laid an egg. He was exciting in the beginning and then kind of fell apart. But in bare knuckle, this is the perfect fit for not only Greg, but for the BKFC. Hardy he hasn't been in the UFC. In fact, he signed with another company like months back, and I don't even know if he fought. I have no idea. Did he fight that fight? I have no clue. Actually, let me look. So the former NFL player finds a home with BKFC, and BKFC has that Triller money now. So, you know, they could pay these guys. Okay, so he signed with another promotion. I guess didn't fight. His last fight was Sergey Spivak, and that was it for the UFC. Everyone was like, okay, the time is done. It's over. The Greg Hardy experiment is over. The guy was on like every single main card because of his name. So the guy's a pull. There's no doubt about it. And BKFC just swoops in and grabs him. And you would be completely lying if you said you were not interested in seeing this man fight with no gloves, because the guy has clear power. You don't have to worry about his asthma of him being dragged down to the ground, someone trying to lay on him and ground and pound him. They're just going to stand in the pocket and sling just bare knuckles. This is a mega signing for BKFC. It's big. It fits perfectly into their formula of combat sports, and it is going to be incredible carnage that's going to happen with this dude out there. So I think it's a beautiful move. They got John Dotson over there now, and now Greg Hardy, and they're getting all these characters. And like I was saying to Tyler Randall, BKFC is doing something here. They got Triller on board with them. So, I mean, that is massive when it comes to the pockets. But as we are watching them grow, we are literally seeing the infancy stages of something that's going to be big, massive. This is what was happening in the UFC, but amplified, like sped up even quicker. Like, if you think about what the UFC did compared to what boxing did, boxing slowly grew, and then years and years and years passed, and boxing became this mega thing. The UFC, 20 some odd years, exploded and became fantastically large and exciting. BKFC has been like what Feldman's been doing with BKFC. How many years are we doing it? 3 or 4? Like, how many years has BKFC even been around? Let me see. How many years has BKFC been in existence? Let's see. I know Bare Knuckle has been around forever, but I'm just saying BKFC. Its first event was held 2018 with 24 numbered events held as of April 22nd, 2022. So bare knuckle boxing was like 1889 in the United States, but I'm saying BKFC, what they've done, 2018. So 4 years. 4 fucking years. Think about this. If that is correct, BKFC has been in existence for 4 years, which sounds about right. Where was the UFC in 4 years? They got their own app. They got Triller on board with them. It's crazy, man. It's pretty wild what BKFC is doing. And their athletes that they're bringing in from other organizations. The UFC already grew Greg Hardy to be like a known person. Like he was known from the NFL, but in the UFC, they were slapping him on freaking in press conferences and on main cards. So they already did that. Paige Van Zandt already created her platform on the UFC. John Dotson, like all these other guys all created their platform on the UFC. And bare knuckles just like, okay, they're popular already. Let's bring them over here now. Like, yes, they're not, elite UFC fighters anymore, but still their names. Let's bring them over to bare knuckle, capitalize off their popularity, and just continue growing the brand. It's a brilliant thing. Brilliant. And I don't understand. Like, I know we have BYB, which is a great product. They're doing a great thing as well. But I don't know how anyone's going to compete with bare knuckle because they're bringing in the super big names. It's going to really separate themselves from anything else out there. Bkfc could be bigger than the UFC. It's very. I mean, if they're doing this in 4 years, like what's going to happen in 20? What's going to happen in 20? 1993 was UFC 1, correct? So it's fascinating. I know it's not everyone's cup of tea, but it is something that's interesting if you like watching people get beat up. Spoke about Sean O'Malley. When I win the belt, I'll give him a title shot. This is fucking nuts. I saw this earlier. Jorge Masvidal, Leon Edwards would give him the title shot, the 3-piece Minnesota rematch. If that happens, I mean, what are we doing? Like, what's going on here? For real. Like, what is going on? Jorge Masvidal, Conor McGregor, all these guys, coming off losses, title shots. It's weird. Makhachev was laughing at poor Oliveira with the calling out Conor McGregor, although this is probably Ali Abdelaziz. I don't see Islam throwing clown emojis out there. It just doesn't seem like Islam's move. Winner of Strickland versus Pereira will get the next title shot. We spoke about that earlier. So Sean Strickland versus Pereira happening on UFC 276, the same card as IZZY versus Cannonier. The winner gets the title shot. Love that. This fight was dropped and announced. Aldo versus Merab Dvalishvili. Let's go, baby. Wow, Merab. Welcome to the top tier. It went from Aldo going to fight. This is in the works. All right. Well, we don't know if this is true. What's the source? Glove Touch posted this, so I don't know. But, I mean, if this is in the works, it went from Aldo fighting, what's it called? Aljo. And it looks like Aljo's going to be fighting TJ now. So Merab versus, this is a great fight. Big step up from Merab. So Aldo versus Merab. Interesting. Jan Blachowicz promises a first-round knockout of John Jones in potential fight. I'm always open for this fight, but he is not. That's not going to happen. It's just not. I don't know in what world is this happening. It's not going back to light heavy. Not going back. So that's pretty much it for what we want to talk about tonight. We basically covered all the subjects. Tyler Randall was on the show. If you want, run it back. Let us know in the comment section what you thought about Tyler rookie Randall stopping by, talking about his upcoming fight. Charles needs to fight Islam and stop ducking. I agree. He does. He does. As much as I would like to see crazy novelty fights, Charles versus Islam is, I mean, let's settle it. Let's find out who's better. Let's see what happens here. It has to happen. John Jones is the greatest MMA fighter of all time. The line of fighters he ran through is unmatched as Ryan Sexton. I got John Jones as the GOAT still. Even with the picograms and all that stuff, I'm with you. Thank you, Soper Carl, for the great interview. A big thank you to the donators tonight. And D-Rest, my man, a savior of the MMA-Holes. Appreciate D-Rest with the big $250 bomb on the show. Thank you so much. You're wonderful, wonderful.
Wonderful.
Thank you to our sponsors, MyBookie.ag, promo code MMA-HOLES for 100% match on your first deposit. Thank you, Sheath Underwear, 20% off your Sheath Underwear. Father's Day is what? It's a Sunday, so get your father some Sheath. Stick his little behind in that sheath and thank me later. Sheath Underwear, 20% off, promo code MMA-HOLES for Sheath Underwear. And Head Rush, same promo code, 20% off. MMA-HOLES. If you're watching the fights this weekend or UFC 276, make sure you use our links in the description or when we pin it in the live chat. All the times that you use those links, we get a little commission on it. So if you click on the link, you buy a pay-per-view. If you're buying a pay-per-view, hit up the links. It throws money in our pockets and not in UFC's pocket or ESPN. Hey, they're not paying the fighters. Might as well pay the MMA-Holes. You know what I'm saying? So use that link down below. Alrighty. Friends of the show, I want to thank you for coming by once again, swinging by and spending your time with the MMA-Holes. Wonderful, wonderful people.
Wonderful.
We'll see you on Friday night. Fuka Friday. Don't be an a-hole. Be an MMA-Hole.